With over 400 celebrity interviews and tons of pop culture nerdiness, Too Opinionated is a safe haven for your inner geek. Find us at meistercon.com or on YouTube under MeisterCon Pod. And please subscribe. It would really help us out. Thanks, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. So excited today. I've got singer Jade Holland with me. So welcome, Jade.
Hey. How are we?
You know, you seem more awake than, like, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and it's, I don't know, what do you say, 2:30 in the morning or something?
6 a.m.
6 a.m. And you already seem more awake than I am.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's the power of coffee, right?
You must have had it sitting next to the bed.
No, I got up and do my stretches, you know, we get the blood flowing and
get ready for the day.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I've been listening to your music. You've got a beautiful voice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what it, you know, you always, when you hear somebody, you always say, well, what do they sound like? And you're very unique. I couldn't come up with anybody, but maybe a little bit of Shania Twain in there, just a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd mind that calm.
No, I actually, I have been stopped in the street before. My little claim to fame is, it's probably happened maybe about 50, maybe 60 times now. Someone said that I look like Leanne Rimes, but I don't see it.
Absolutely look like Leanne Rimes.
Well, there you go. I don't see it, but maybe that's just because of me.
That's not a bad thing, though. Like, you don't look exactly like her. You look like you could be related to Leanne.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'll take that too.
But no, I think it's because a lot of your music it's not just straight country, it's kind of poppy country. And I think that's why it reminded me of Shania.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really know what to call my twang, you know, because I guess, yeah, it is. I was kind of raised on, well, I wasn't raised on country. I raised myself on country music. Yeah. My parents raised me on Metallica and Led Zeppelin and ZZ Top and all these amazing
artists. How did you end up with the country sound
then? Right. My mum is the most blunt, brutal person I'll ever know, but she's always honest, and you can never go wrong with that. So when I was a kid, she took me to an open mic night, and I was watching a friend of mine. She jumped up there and had a guitar, and she was singing a little old Johnny Cash song, and I was like, wow, I want to do that. And I said to Mum, I want to do that. And my mum, straight out of the hatch, didn't even think twice. She just said, but I don't think you can sing. And I was like, well, we're going to have to figure out how to sing, because that's what I want to do. And I went back the next week and I'd learned a Casey Chambers song, who's an Australian artist. And I had learnt one of her songs, and I got up there and let me tell you, in full honesty, I was atrocious. I was so nervous that I was shaking. I couldn't hold the guitar because I'd only learnt 3 chords as well by this point. So it was very slow finger movements. You know, the brain was really working. And so I got up there, I'm shaking. So I put the guitar down because I was shaking so much. I tried holding the microphone and I was like, and they're like, no, we're going to put the microphone in the stand. So it's in the stand and I'm crying. I am crying my eyes out. It was terrible. But I finished the song and I was on such a high, and everyone cheered because they all knew it was my first time on stage and I'd just done an atrocious job. And I hopped off stage and I just said, oh, I've got to do that again. And Mum's like, well, you're going to have to learn another song and maybe get better on the guitar, and maybe we just need to work on the whole overall situation. I was like, well, okay, then that's what we're going to do. And that's what we did.
Well, I mean, good for her, because I think a lot of parents make that mistake of, you know, you can be too supportive almost, but if you're not, if you're not honest about what you're supporting your child doing, you know, maybe they stick with something that they don't really have a talent.
Yeah, you got to, I think it's all about being real, you know. You know, like, I mean, my brother was built he was a huge kid, and no one could knock him over. And this was the thing, like Dad and I, because I'm definitely a daddy's girl, we pushed him into football because we were like, dude, you were made for this.
That's what happens when you're big like that.
That's right. But the other side of my mum is that she is a very kind, giving person,
Yes.
and a very gentle person. Even though she's blunt and honest, she's very gentle. So my brother got that from her. I'm tough as nails, like my dad, and my brother got that from her. So he gets out on the football field, and we all thought he was going to be brilliant at it. And he crashed because we play, tackle rug, NRL here. So,
yeah.
And we don't have any PPE on like
right.
Gridiron do. we're crazy. So my brother gets out onto this football field and crash tackles this little kid that was a half the size of him, and then my brother has got the tears well up in his eyes, and he's helping him off the ground and everything. And we were all like, well, he's not built for football.
Too big a heart.
He's got a too big a heart. He thought he killed this poor kid. And he's pulled him off the ground, and the kid was like, oh, thanks, man. And Mitchell's like, I can't play this sport anymore. So he was out. He was tapped out. So yeah, I think
I was hoping the story was going to end with you saying, so I stepped in.
From the sidelines, I was screaming like I was going to. But no, my brother he was just way too kind, and it was just about being real. Mum and Dad were like, well, we thought he was going to be good at it, but we're not going to push him into that path. That's not him.
That's right. Well, yeah. that is something that gets underrated, I think, with sports. It's not just about having the physicality. I mean, you got to have kind of the mental, emotional mindset for it too, and not everybody does for every sport.
Yeah, that's right. I got asked to do a celebrity boxing match once. I couldn't hurt a pea if I tried. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm that person that stops on the side of the road and checks out to make sure that bird is dead. Because if it's not, I'm going to help it, And so they asked me to do the celebrity boxing match, and I was like, oh, hell no. There's not a chance. I couldn't get in there and get angry or do get in that zone to hurt somebody else. That my brain just goes, no, that's it. I think I'm out.
Now, see, I get that, except I think I would get really angry if I got hit while I'm boxing, but I'm not sure I could do anything about it. I'm sure I'd be wailing away, but whether or not it would have any effect.
Yeah, that's right. I hear
you. I don't know that me boxing is the best use of anybody's time.
No, me neither. I'd spend more time worrying if the other person's okay.
Yeah, exactly right. Oh, I'd feel terrible if I hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Even if that's kind of the intent.
Yeah, that's right.
it'd be tough.
You know what? Some people are built for it, and some people are built for other things. So
that's right.
Stick to what we're good at.
So once you figured out you wanted to sing or perform, what'd you do from there? Did you start taking lessons, or did you do it for school? How'd you improve from that point?
We lived in the bush. So like you think of like Crocodile Dundee, we lived in the bush, right? And we had this little property, and we lived about an hour away from anyone. And I always thought when I was a kid, I thought my parents were torturing me because we didn't live close to my friends. But no, I actually realized that they showed us a piece of paradise, and I wish we still had it.
That's right. You don't know when you're in it, though.
No, you don't realize as a kid, you just think it's too far to ride my push bike an hour. Well, it'd be like 2 hours down the Bruce Highway, which is, the main freeway heading through our country. So because I wanted to do this, we were too far away from any kind of singing lessons, guitar lessons, anything like that. So I taught myself. So I would turn on the radio every day, and I would sit there and listen to it. And I had a girlfriend, her mum was a guitar teacher in town, and she wrote down on a piece of paper, she drew the fretboard and all the strings, and she numbered my fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4. And she would draw basically the chords for me on a piece of paper so I could learn the chords. And I just sat there and listened by ear on how to change the chords with the song. And then I would start singing. And I just did it myself. It wasn't really till later on in life that I realized I had some bad habits that I needed to repair and fix.
Well, if nobody tells you.
That's right, you know. And I mean, here I am at home screaming out to Bon Jovi, like, you know, what could go wrong? But that's how I learned.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive, though. I think it's really impressive anybody that can play by ear. That's not easy to do for most of us anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've noticed. And then from that point, you know, so I started to teach myself in Australia, especially when I was younger. There wasn't many places that a child could go and sing. You know, it wasn't. Right. I mean, you could, if you went to the pub with your parents, you could go and play at the pub, but it's not, you know, for an 11-year-old girl, it's not the best place to be getting up and playing. Right. So, you know, mum and dad were quite conscious of that. So we found that there was country music competitions across Australia. There's a lot of them, you know, and so it's called the country music circuit. So as a kid, I would practice, you know, for 3 hours a day. And my parents, the number one rule, because we didn't have a lot of money, and both my dad worked away till I was about 11 years old. He was in the mines, and my mum was a full-time hairdresser. And we were being raised by Italian babysitters. And now I'm pretty confident I was, you know, an Italian in my past life, because I lived for all the pasta and the hand gestures, obviously. It comes naturally to me. So the rule was, for me as a kid, the one rule for me performing, if I wanted to do it, I had to practice. And if I didn't practice, we didn't go. Because mum said, we don't have the money to put into it all the time if you're not going to put the time into it. And I was like, well, okay. So I did every single day. I'd do 3 hours every day. And every single weekend, mum would take me to a music festival, and we would get in the car and we would drive about 10 hours, maybe sometimes 15 hours down the road.
Wow.
Down the road, well, cross country, and we would get to a country music festival, which would be like a talent quest, and there would be a backing band there that most of the time had never heard the songs you wanted to sing. So I would write my own chord chart for them to you know, learn. This is how I learned the Nashville number system, because they taught me. They were like, look, we use this, you know, so it's easy for you to use. And I was like, right, 1, 1, 4, 5, that's all I got to know. So they taught me that, and I would make my own chord charts and give it to the band, and then I'd have to essentially conduct the whole band while they're learning the song on the spot, and I'm trying to sing it for our judges. So I'd be like, and this is how it goes, 1, 2. And we'd all come in, and then we'd all just hang on and see each other on the other side. And so I did the country music circuit until I was probably about 16, maybe 17. And then that's when I kind of thought, well, firstly, I need to spend a little bit of extra time on my schooling, because I'd missed a fair bit. But I was very lucky. I think it came naturally to me, schoolwork. So, you know, exams and stuff, I was really quite good at, except for English. For some reason, I can be a singer-songwriter and I can write my own songs. English, I'd get C's in, and I would suck at it, and I don't know why. But everything else, brilliant.
Well, was it the punctuation? Because that's kind of tricky.
Actually, I think it was like, you know, when they get you to write an essay, that because I probably speak so fast sometimes that I think maybe it probably just doesn't come out the way I think it's happening in my head. And so, you know, how is it that I can write a song, but I would fail on English exams?
I know it's so funny how the brain works.
Yeah.
You know, because you would think if you could sit and write a song, then, you know, an English assignment, no big deal.
No, that's right.
Doesn't work that way all the time, though.
No, but I did sing one assignment once, and I got an A for that. So that was good.
Just because the teacher was like shocked that you were singing it, and they're like, okay.
It probably was. Or actually, what was it? It was a song we had to write about, like, our family and our growing up, and our, you know, who we're going to be, you know, our story. And I was like, right, I can do this. So I wrote a bit about me mum and dad and Mitch being a you know, one-time footballer, and away we go.
There you go. There you go. Have you ever written a song about your family outside of that?
That's a great question. I haven't. No, not yet.
Mm.
Well, there's still time, isn't there?
There's still time. It's not too late.
I'll have to get that sorted. My partner said to me not long ago, he doesn't know music at all. So when I met him 3 years ago, when I say he didn't know music, like he lived in this different life that, you know, I could walk through the shops and I'll be off with the fairies and I'll hear the music and I'm singing away and I'm getting my you know, cereal for breakfast and my milk and putting it in the trolley and I'm having a groove in the shop. He walks in the shop and he's like a man on a mission. He is like, doesn't hear anything, doesn't see anything around him. He's just like, got to get this, got to get this, got to get this. So when he said to me, oh, I don't really hear music or listen to music, I was like, what? But I think it's because he lived in this fast-paced zone for so long. And I was like, well, you need to stop and smell the roses, dude. So
does he listen now?
All the time. He does. And he said to me, he said, oh, do you think you'll ever write a song about me? And I was, you can probably tell from my albums that I was quite unlucky in love for a while. So, you know, and I guess I portrayed it in through my music, unfortunately. Yep. But I wrote him a song out, and we're getting married next year. And I just,
congratulations.
Thank you. And he hasn't heard it. No one's heard it yet because I'm going to play it on the wedding day, which is really hard for me because he does.
Okay. I didn't want to give anything away.
No. He's asked me to play it a few times and I was like, nope, you're going to have to wait. Yeah, I'm a very impatient person myself.
Gosh, I would be a wreck. If my wife was singing to me on my wedding day, I'm not sure I could finish the ceremony. I'd be a wreck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's going to be me because I am an emotional mess.
Yeah, me too. Yep. But you have to sing it.
I know. I'm a bit nervous. Only because I don't know if I can get through it. Yeah, I probably not. I've already, like, the minute I met him, I started writing my vows, for crying out loud. So, you know, he's probably going to be the one that will be fine on the wedding day, and I'm just going to be ruining my makeup left, right, and center.
Yeah. I think that's okay. It's actually like if you get emotional while you sing it, he'll probably like that better. Yeah.
Although I've never seen him cry, but he did say to me, he said, I think it'll probably happen on our wedding day. And I was like, yeah, I'm getting the tears out of you today. Don't you worry.
That's a guy rule, though. You can cry at your wedding, and that doesn't count against you. That's perfectly acceptable.
That's right. Yeah. That's probably why he's planning it.
Like weddings, funerals, some sporting events, you're allowed to cry.
Correct. 100%. When our Cowboys lost, yes, I could see the sad moments.
Oh yeah, it can get you very emotional.
Yeah.
I noticed when you're singing, your Australian accent isn't quite as strong.
No, it's I don't think I ever really sang with an Australian accent. I do have some friends that really sing with that Aussie ochre kind of twang.
Yeah.
But I'm really inspired, and I kind of grew up listening. When I started listening to country music, I did listen to a bunch of Australian country music, you know, like we had the old Slim Dusty and stuff like that. And Casey Chambers, like I love her. But I listened to a lot of American, like Martina McBride and the Chicks, you know, and all that. That's who I grew up on. When I started buying albums as a kid, I was like, this is the great stuff. And Mum and I'd be traveling across country, and it would be like, you know, we'd be driving for like 6 hours, and we're just listening to like 5 Dixie Chicks albums.
Yeah.
You know,
I just got to see them in concert.
Did you?
They were really good.
I've seen them 3 times, I think.
Really? That's the first time I had ever seen them. We were in Austin, Texas for a music festival, and they performed.
Oh, I love them. And confession, I've cried at every single concert they played.
You know what is impressive watching them live is they are so talented musically. not just singing, but just with the playing their instruments. Like they could just not sing and just play instruments, and I would still
absolutely. Really they good. Are, because I know that I'm going to get their names wrong now. Is it Marty and Emily went out and did their own little thing? I think it was a courthouse hounds or something like that, or courtyard hounds maybe.
Yeah.
And that was I was like, what? It was amazing, like bluegrass. It was just, they are insanely talented, all three of them. Yeah. I'm a huge fan.
Do you play any instruments other than guitar?
Well, I bash the guitar, and then I play a very bad version of mandolin. I have a beautiful washburn, and I can play 4 chords successfully.
Okay.
So that's about it.
Yeah, mandolin can be a little tricky too, even if you know how to play guitar.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the chord structures kind of come a little bit naturally to me, but it's the whole picking. I'm a left-hander, but I play right-handed guitar.
Yeah.
So that my right hand's looking at me going, dude.
What caused that?
When I was a kid, my parents didn't know you could buy a left-handed guitar. So I was teaching myself, to play right-handed guitar, and I'm strumming away and having a groove. And it wasn't until I was probably about like 19 or something that someone said, did you know that you can buy a left-handed guitar? And I was like, what? And I tried it, and I felt like a fish out of water. I was like, no, that's it. I'm officially playing a right-handed guitar for life.
Did it help you do things right-handed?
No. Okay. I don't think so. No. I had to think about that for a second. No, I still can't. No, it didn't. Even left-handed, I still suck at chopsticks. So no, I don't think it's helped me in any way, really.
Yeah, my son's left-handed, and it can be a little bit awkward until you get used to doing everything the opposite way, even if that's your dominant hand. It's just like he has to sit to the left of you, or it bothers him. If he's eating with his right hand and stuff, he feels like he's, I don't know, like he's getting in the way of the person next to him. So he has to.
Yeah. Oh no, I just give out free elbows to whoever's around me. Sharing's caring, right?
I think that's okay. So you got a new song coming out, "Oh My Heart."
Yeah.
And it comes out like this Friday, right?
It does. I'm super excited. I'm, like I said, I'm an incredibly impatient person. So when we recorded the song about 6 months ago, I was like, okay, let's send it out now. And everyone's like, no, there's a process, and we've got a marketing plan, and we've got this, and we've got this. So it was just, I'm just really
that's a pretty good point. Is it difficult to have something that you're just dying to get out there, but to have to wait so that you do it correctly?
Yeah, it is. It is, because I kind of, I get nervous when I sit on it. Like I'm kind of like, what if people don't like it? What happens if what happens if nobody buys it? What happens, and I just sit there and I'm like, oh my God, all these things. I don't know if I'm like, the same as most musos, or if that's just my brain thinking that. But I know that people are going to buy it, and I know people have pre-purchased it, which is fantastic. But the waiting game just kind of drains a little bit.
But and you've released like 14 singles, something like that, right? So it hasn't gotten easier. It's still, you still have the same anxiety.
No, I still do. I don't know, because I just always want to, I want to be doing this for forever. I didn't kind of make my first album and go, oh, well, I did that. I tried it, let's move on to the next thing. It was like, well, this is my job for life. So I want to make sure I do it right. I want to make sure that I, make the most out of it, because it's an incredible experience to be able to say that I get to travel the world and do the thing that I love the most. And as well, I want to make music for people that people love, and hopefully they share it around with their friends and enjoy it. And if I can move somebody in the process, or help someone in the process of me releasing music, but them going through something, then that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's pretty that's pretty great. So what is Oh My Heart about?
So it's about do you know what I say this openly because I'm comfortable with it, but I was single for 5 years, right? And then I just came to a point where I was like, well, maybe I'm just going to be single, and that's fine, that I'm totally comfortable with that. And then I met my partner, and I thought, well, who is crazy enough to want to be with me for the rest of their life? Like, he must be losing a couple of marbles there. But it was kind of like, I'm naturally an awkward person as it is. So, and I'm an
Yeah.
unlucky person. So I'm that person that will walk out on the street all dolled up, ready to go to a show, and someone will drive past and splash me with a puddle, you know? And when I was dating, my partner's Chad, when I was dating him, I was like, all these unlucky things would happen to me. Like, I would run out of fuel on my way to a date, or, and I was like, oh my goodness, but here I was, trying to, feel something for this guy, and yet I'm being like pulled back by whatever's trying to stop me from
Right.
getting to the date. And I was like, no, I'm going to make this date, and so it was kind of like a slapstick comedy of like, it doesn't matter what goes wrong, nobody cares what goes wrong, you're going to get there, you're going to have the best time. And and then when you see that person, or you fall in love with that person, it doesn't even have to be falling in love. It can just be like meeting somebody in the random street that you've never met
Yeah.
before in your life, and you have that little skip of the heart moment, and you're like, oh my heart, this is what's happening here. It's like that, I don't know, it's like a yo-yo type effect. So yeah,
I
it's
like
just
that.
about
That's a good explanation for it, because
oh,
yeah, you most times you don't realize that that's
not at
happening,
all. Yeah,
but you definitely feel it.
absolutely. You study your words and things like that. Or I remember my first date with Chad. I must have sounded like an umpty because I don't think I was speaking English. I was in
Yeah.
my own world, and I was nervous, and it's all those cute little butterfly things and effects that you get.
Well, good for Chad. He must have done a good job.
I think so. Yeah, he was really sweet about it too, because I was just, I fell out of the car when we first met. Like,
Yeah.
I stood on a rock at the beach, and I'm like hobbling around. And he's like, you really are just like a kooky, klutzy person. And I was like, yeah, that's me.
When I listened to it, I would like before I listened to it, I was thinking it's going to be slow. I was just going off the title, but it's
Yeah.
not really. It's kind of peppy.
Yeah, it's got a little poppy groove kind of thing
Yeah.
going to it. Yeah. It was I wrote it with one of my best friends that I've known since I was about 12 years old. And she's we've both been singers our whole lives, and we've sung together a million times and played music. And then we kind of drifted apart because she moved to Nashville, and she was there for about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And she came back home and got stuck here during COVID. And I was like, well, do you want to write some music together? And she literally met her partner at the same time I met mine. And I was like, wow, this is so.
Meant
when we
to
sat
be.
down, and I said, I've got this line, and all the young kids are saying it, and it's oh my heart. And she was like, oh, that's so cool. She starts playing the little guitar riff, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And I was like, yes. It was just a vibe, when you get that vibe, and I think we
Yes.
wrote it in like 20 minutes.
Well, and that has to be fun working with somebody that you like, that you get along
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, and like we're having a sneaky gin and tonic at the same time, and it's a whole event.
Well, that's right. Yeah, if you're going to get together to write music, you need to make it into a day.
100%. Yeah. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, I think.
You're wasting your time. Yeah, I thought it was really good. What was the song you released before it?
Summertime, Sunshine, and You.
Oh, I like that one too.
Yeah. That was a vibe. That was like, I think when we went into COVID, we all got put in lockdown, which is still the craziest thing in the world, to think that the whole world was in lockdown at the same time.
Right.
And yeah, it's something that you never ever expected would happen in this lifetime.
Well,
or
it's probably
ever
not
in
going
the
to happen
world.
to us again.
No.
Not
that's right.
I mean, maybe, but I don't think so, since we've went this far and It's happened once.
Yeah, we come out the other side. We're good now. So, and so it was kind of like we were 1 month into the lockdown, and I just remember thinking, oh, we'll be out of this soon. Like, it's all good, you know, we'll be done. And so I was writing that one with Bruce and Messi in Nashville, actually, via Zoom. And we were just sitting there talking about, you know, how we think, yeah, we'll be out of lockdown soon. We'll all be back on the road. We'll all be playing music again. Don't worry. And we were still in lockdown like 4 months later or something crazy like that, or 3 months later, you know. So we just wrote this. It was just like our little ditty of like what we hope to gain when we come out of lockdown, and we're having a group and we're all like, you know, we just want the sunshine, summertime sunshine and you. Like, let's just all head to the beach and have a beer.
I love that, because we were all kind of like that. You know, we thought, I can do this for a couple of weeks. No big deal. Yep. Might be fun.
Yes.
And then it was like, okay, a month. I can do it for a month.
Yeah.
And then it just kept going. And then at some point, you're just like, all right, enough.
Yep. 100%. And then it did just keep going. I don't know about you, Michael, but I was stuck in lockdown with my parents because I had moved home to basically buy a house. And I was just preparing to buy a house. And so I'm at mum and dad's house, and then we went into lockdown, and I went, well, I'm going to be here for a while. And so I stuck there with my parents, which is not a bad thing because I love them. Yeah.
I was going to say, I bet they loved it. Like, I would, if my kids got stuck with me, I'd secretly kind of.
Oh, we had the best time. I think, like, Dad and I started building furniture during COVID. We just decided we needed a little job. So we started building, we built my TV unit, we built my dining room table.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. I don't know why. We just decided that it goes hand in hand, like a hammer and a beer, right?
No, you actually used the time for good purposes. I always say,
I wrote music.
I feel like we just wasted the time. You know, all I did was complain about having the time, and I didn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, I sat there and I thought, you know, I can either utilize it. Don't get me wrong. I had a couple of drunken nights in that time where I definitely wasted it, but I enjoyed it. But it was very nice bonding time with my family, and my nan was there as well. And then Chad moved in during COVID. So in my parents' tiny little house, you know, we had the whole family in there, and Chad was really getting to know them all at once. So no, it was nice. I think it was like quality family time, and, you know, spending time with my dad, you know, being able to build furniture and stuff. It's just kind of like those little things that, you know, I spent probably the better part of 5 or 6 years touring hardcore, and I missed a lot of events, you know, family birthdays or dinners or weddings or engagements and whatever. So it was really nice I can't make those times back up, but I can spend time with them and, you know, make it up in my head. So
that's exactly right. That's it. Do you miss touring? Do you plan to tour at some point?
We are starting. It's only small touring at the moment. Still, I think trying to get back out of that COVID groove and back into the swing of things is quite hard. So we are starting the tour this weekend, which is very exciting. Yeah, so 26th here in Queensland. So I've got about 30 shows, and then heading down to New South Wales for a couple of shows. So
it's
quite exciting. Yes. It is something that I missed a lot of. I think because I am such a social person, you know, and then like getting it, like driving, because I drive everywhere because I love it. You know, like everyone says, oh, why do you drive through Queensland? Like you're better off just flying, you know, the 2 hours to Townsville instead of driving 14 hours. But this is a thing, like we sing country music, and we sing about the people and the land, and it's the experiences and the stories. So why not drive and get those experiences and those stories and meet the people and see the land and, you know, all those kinds of things. Because I think that's what makes up country music in my mind.
Well, yeah, you're kind of using that as a way to inspire yourself. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Do you have plans at some point to tour in the States?
Absolutely, we do. We don't have anything locked in, but I'm really hoping to get over there next year, probably I think it might be around the July mark. I always, every time I've been to America, I'm not kidding, I come over when we're in winter because I hate winter.
Well, that's just smart.
So because I know, well, that's what I think. However, I still haven't seen snow. Not that we get a lot of snow in Australia, but I do need to experience some
come on over.
Snow.
We'll have snow this winter.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I'm hoping mid maybe July next year I might be able to get over there and do a bunch of shows and travel around and see everyone. I'll have to come say hi.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. You got to at least let us know where you're touring because we'll come out.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be fun. Yeah, I think your music, just listening to several of the songs, is kind of uplifting. You know, it's hopeful, kind of uplifting. A lot of the songs are a little faster pace, which if you dance would probably be good. I'm a terrible dancer, but I can sway a little bit to it. I can, I can do a little chair swaying for it, maybe.
Michael, don't you worry. You should see my brand new music video this Friday. It comes out and I have to dance in it. Ooh. And if I can dance, I can tell you can dance, all right? Because I have 2 left feet.
Yeah, me too. At least 2
yeah,
left.
Yeah. I hear you.
Well, so when you were growing up, did you do anything outside of music? Were you involved in anything growing up? You didn't play any sports, anything like that?
No, not really. No, I well and truly threw myself into music as a kid. I pretty much was playing shows every single weekend. If they were not my own show, I was playing at a country music competition or whatever it may be. But I did that my whole childhood. Like I was good at sports, like at sports day at school, but I got bullied hardcore, and so I quit, which is a little bit sad. But now I just think, oh well, that poor fella that bullied me, he obviously was just having a hard time himself, so he needed to take it out on somebody.
That's usually what it is,
which is fine. Yeah,
usually it's with kids. If they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, it's probably because something's going on that's upsetting them.
Yeah, that's right. He came up to me. I played our hometown show probably about 6 or 7 years ago now, and he came up and said, I was a bit mean to you when I was a kid. And I was like, yeah, just a bit. But he apologized and gave me a hug, so I can't, no hard feelings. Like,
well, yeah, good for him.
Kids will be kids, and yeah, it was nice of him to come and say something, because he could have just ignored me, or ignored the fact that he bullied me, but I was good at sports when I was a kid, and then I kind of gave it away and just focused on music. And I focused on music a lot. Like I played pretty much every weekend. I was on the road with either mum or dad.
Well, it's paid off.
I didn't do much else. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely paid off. And good for your mom, because she kind of held your feet to the fire a little bit. She's like, if you're going to do it, you got to do it.
Oh, yeah.
No halfway doing it.
She did. She keeps me very grounded.
So with this song, is this the first of many songs you're going to release? Like, does it belong with an album of songs, or is it just kind of like a one-off?
I'm hoping it will go on an album. I know that there was talks from my label about an EP, but I like albums because they tell a story. You've got to start, and then you've got, the story getting to the finish line. So I would prefer to write an album and work on an album. So that's what me and my brain's working towards, and I can argue that out later.
Yeah. I know it's kind of funny the way it works now, because where it's all just online. You didn't used to have people releasing singles. Not like now.
No, that's right.
Now the norm is to release a single. Where before you'd put out an album and not just
absolutely.
Song.
It's I feel I realize that it's like more of a temporary market now, I think, because songs come and go so quickly, but I'm hoping that will kind of change, like just like the LPs have come back into fashion now.
Everybody likes the physical LP.
That's right. So I think maybe it's the music cycle is that, it's going to come back around and it'll turn back into, we need to be making albums because people want to hear the journey through the album, and what you have to say through that, through a number of songs, rather than here's my one song. That's my hope as a musician. But I mean, singles are great too. They're a lot of fun. You put them out there and everyone gets, they do their TikTok dance routines to them and have the best time.
TikTok's the thing now. If you get your song into a TikTok dance, you've made it.
You're done. Yeah, that's right. You've made it. That's right. Exactly. Look, I'm still hoping for that. I haven't got there yet, but maybe soon.
Do you have a TikTok?
I do. Yeah, just Jade Holland music. It's mostly me and my dog. We have a great relationship, and he loves to be the star of the show, so he takes over.
Yeah. Is he a big dog or a little dog?
He thinks he's a lap dog. He's a medium dog, so he's an English Staffy. So he's like a chunky little nugget. He's got the greatest personality in the world. He's a terrible guard dog. He does not bark when anybody comes to the door at all. If anything, he goes, come on in and give
he's
me
just
a
friendly.
pat. And he loves anyone and every dog and every person. He just literally lives for people. So, and if we're at the dog park, he goes and hangs out with the humans, not the dogs.
See, I think most dogs are like that. We're the ones that screw them up.
Yeah.
I think most of them are just friendly, and then we teach them to act up a little bit. That's what
we're like, hey, no, yeah. Well, I
it's
wanted
the same
him
with
to
kids.
just bark at the. Yeah, that's it. It is. You're 100% on the money. It's up to us to be responsible and train them in the way that, or teach them.
It's rare if you meet a kid that's not just very, it's very innocent, very trusting. They just very positive. Mm-hmm. We're what screws them up.
That's
if
right.
we do our job right, then they're like that for a lot longer.
Yeah, 100% they are. Absolutely. Yeah.
So what's coming next? What comes after you release the song Friday and you got a video coming out? What's next?
So we have also done a DJ remix of the song. Because
that's like the dance version.
It is. I haven't done this before, so it's a very new vibe for me, because I was like, my manager mentioned it to me and I was like, DJ remix? I was like, I sing country music, mate. Not this whole DJ world. I don't know that world. All I know is when I go to the club and I like to stand there with my gin and tonic and my 2 left feet and sway to the side, the 2-step, that's me in a club. So I was like, well, what, let's find a DJ and figure out. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right. So we approached a couple of friends, and DJ Sparkles, he just jumped on board and was like, yes, let's do this. So they're called Original Thieves. Is his are they a band if there's 3 DJs? Or
I'm assuming that you could have a band of DJs. Yeah.
Okay, well, we've got a band of DJs called Original Thieves that remix it for me. And it's really cool. I was surprised. I was like, oh, what have I done? Is this the right idea? And I love the vibe that they brought out of this song, because it's already a cool bop, and then when you add like this, I guess like this techno kind of vibe to it, you get it even more of a bop, and it's just got such a groove to it. I do, when you ask me what I did outside of music during school, I didn't do anything, but now I've started, even with my 2 left feet, at Zumba.
Oh, good for you. That's good exercise.
So I've been going to Zumba, and I played the DJ song the DJ remix to them, and they now dance to it every week on Wednesday.
I would love that.
So, yeah, I'm very flattered, because I was like, what if nobody likes the remix? Do you sing
along with it? When it's playing, do you sing it?
Yeah, I can't help not. Yeah. And they all do too. They all know the words, and it's like one of those things that blows your mind. You're like, wow, this is actually happening.
That's
somebody
amazing.
Loves my song, that they want to sing it, and they're all dancing and they're all in their groove, and that
has to make you feel good.
it's a whole other world. That's something I haven't experienced before. So I'm very excited. So we've got the DJ remix coming out next, and then hopefully have got speaking of singles, another single in February, and then I'd like to be able to say that I've got an album coming after that. So
that's coming fast. February be here before we know it. So is it another dance song, or is it a little slower?
It's a little bit slower. It's probably more of a got more of a meaning kind of song. It's called Change, and it's about how I think, unfortunately, we live in this society at the moment where people think they can't help somebody else unless they have dollars in their pocket. And I don't think you need money to change somebody's life or to change their day or to make their day. I think it's as simple as, people need a helping hand these days more than they need money.
That's right.
Yeah. That's right. Maybe it's moving furniture in their house, or they're moving house, or that, maybe it is money. Maybe they needed a cup of coffee, or they look like they just need a hug, or somebody to ask them if they're okay. Coming out of this whole COVID thing, I think we lost touch with, even though we were in touch with people via Zoom, we lost touch with people because we were all in lockdown and too scared to leave our homes. And there was that fear factor there. But I think now we need to be just checking in on people and just going, hey, are you all good? Can I do anything for you? I think it's just that simple. I don't think we need $1 million to be able to help somebody.
No, I actually love that. I think that's a really good way to look at it. Yeah. And absolutely true. You don't need money.
Yeah. No, that's right. I think it's just the little simple things, that I think we forget and sometimes take a bit for granted. It's just that easy as, I'm a really weird, smiley person. So I will be that person that will walk through the shopping center and be like, hey, how you going? Hi. I'm like, and Chad's like, could you just go and buy the, the
I was like, that's probably stressing him. It's probably stressing him out because he just wants to, he's focused. He's just wanting to get his stuff and get out.
Yeah. And I'm off with the fairies. I'm singing through the shops. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I get that because I think that's a guy thing though. We tend to we know what we want. We're there for one thing or a couple things. Mm-hmm. Go get it and get out.
Get the job done. And that's
I'm surprised you can get him in a store at all. I'm surprised he's not just ordering everything online.
No, well, he's actually incredibly unorganized when it comes to things online. So his, I can't really talk. My emails are I've got 5,000 emails in there and they just keep growing. And I just look at it and just go, grow, my little flower. I'm like, oh, well.
There's at some point,
he's quite the same.
You just got to erase all of them. Delete all of them.
You just go, you know what? Delete all, start again, and
been too long.
I'll see you in 5,000 emails in a year's time. Yeah. That's right. I might do that this afternoon. It might just be a weight lifted off my shoulder. Be like,
yeah, they're gone.
How free am I?
Then you can stress out trying to keep up with the new ones coming.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's Jade, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time with me. The song is terrific. Your voice is wonderful. Really talented.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, this has been fun. So a couple of little things before we go. You've got the song coming out in February. Anything else you're working on that we can keep an eye out?
Well, the album, hopefully. I would like to say that will be out towards the end of maybe October, November next year. And hopefully touring over in the States in mid-July. Fingers crossed.
Oh yeah. You gotta let us know because we'll come out for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll have to have a party.
Yeah, absolutely we will. That'll be a blast. That'll be a blast. Okay, so the last thing before you go, you told me the TikTok. What other social media do you have?
Oh, yes. So I'm on Facebook, Jade.Holland, and Instagram, Jade Holland Music. And I've just got my website, jadeholland.com.
Yeah, it's a nice website.
Yeah, and that's where I'm
looking at that. It's
Thank you.
Well done. Do you do it yourself?
No, I don't. I break it every time I touch it.
Oh, good.
So
you got to get a guy. You got to have a guy for that.
I get someone else to do that. Yeah, that's right. I think literally I tried to update one thing on it last time, and the whole website crashed, and I just went, you know what? There's things that I'm good at in this life, and
Right.
this is not one of them. So I'm
You got
going
to
to
know your
pass
limitations.
that exactly. Be real.
All right, Jade, hold on once. All right, so that was the talented Jade Holland. Hope you enjoyed that one. I love her energy, especially for being so early in the morning. I love how positive and just energetic she is, and how excited she is about her music. It's very inspiring, very motivating. I really enjoyed that. I hope you guys did too. The single is "Oh My Heart." It comes out on November the 25th. Do yourself a favor and check it out. It's really, really good. And let us know what you think. I think you're really, really going to enjoy it. If you enjoyed this interview and you want to help us out, we could really use your help. If you're watching YouTube MeisterCon Pod, please subscribe. That would really help us out. It's free, doesn't cost you a dime, really helps us accomplish what we're trying to do. So please subscribe. If you're listening, whatever application you're listening to us on, subscribe there. That'll help us out as well. You can find, we're closing in on 500 episodes. I think we're on 486 right now. You can find all of those audio and video on our website, meistercon.com. If we're doing anything in studio, if we're going to a concert like Jade's US tour, if we're covering a convention, all that'll be on the website, meistercon.com. So definitely check us out there. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.